Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Yes, this video will be about writing. Before we jump into the topic of today's video, I have a small update for you guys. So here are the timestamps. Feel free to jump ahead to the parts that are really interesting to you. I just want to share what has happened over the holidays. So no hard feelings, skip ahead if you want. For those of you who stayed, thank you so much. Story time. During my holidays, a friend of mine took me to a paint and wine session, and it was so much fun. I haven't had this much fun just drawing and painting in a very long time. To be honest, watercolors and just painting in general, acrylics, oil paints is a medium I haven't explored at all. I think the last time I painted something was in primary school. So to see that I was able to do something like this was so much fun. Now, with that said, an exciting thing that happened from this session is that a family member requested I paint something for them. I sort of treat it as my very first commission. I never got a request to draw and create something for somebody else that they genuinely wish to display on their wall, which is why you see here what I invested in. So I got some acrylic paints, the primary set. I got a canvas for the painting, and I even invested in an easel that was also on a discount. So I'm on a roll here, but this is my very first canvas and very first easel. I just wanted to share this with you because it's exciting to see that somebody wants to have your art, even if it is a family member. I just needed to share this with you. My second exciting update is that chapter 2, Blue Pen Sketch, is almost done. We have 7 pages left and then chapter 2 is done. How cool is that? I do have another update. In the course of me working on my comic, I've been slowly thinking what I want to do with it. I mentioned in my previous video, this question has left me pondering, what do I actually want? I actually started to write to a couple of publishing houses just to get an understanding of what's the process of submission. And one of them wrote back to me. They actually requested to see my portfolio, and next to my portfolio, they wanted to see the character sheets, and next to the character sheets, they wanted to see 10 to 15 pages of finished work. And of course, if you watch this channel, you know we're nowhere near to having any of the character sheets ready. I'm basically just finishing the very first one. However, that exchange gave me a bit of guidelines for what the industry expects just in general and how I should treat my project. But with that said, this comic is a bit too complicated to be pitched to a publishing house. It made me realize that a story of this magnitude that I'm writing will not bode well with the agents. But I'm still happy I reached out to a publishing house just to get these directions. We have a lot to do today, so let's go. Some of you may already know, but I finished a novel back in November of 2020. It was the very first draft of the story I'm using for my comic. And over the years, I had multiple attempts of trying to rework Act 2. I had a very strong Act 1 and a very strong and solid Act 3, but Act 2 was just a messy middle. So I had to work on a lot of world building points, plot holes, characterizations, backstories, and I had multiple attempts to sort of return back to writing, but to no avail because there was just so many things that needed to be fixed. In these past few years, I actually did a lot of brainstorming, a lot of scribbles. I had my notes basically scattered all over the place. I was writing on different notes app on my phone. I was using my iPad to write. I also invested in a writing device in hopes to stimulate me to just continue to work on the novel. And even though I didn't manage to carve out the time to specifically work on Act 2, I still did a lot in terms of world building and fixing all of these gaps that I had in my story for my own understanding. And recently I sat down again to revisit the outline for the upcoming volumes of the comic. And all of a sudden it hit me that I actually now have all of the information and clarity to wrap up Act 2. Now, of course, my life circumstances haven't changed. I still have a very packed schedule. So in order to make it a bit more fun for myself, I decided to treat it as a 100-day writing challenge, which anyone is, of course, welcome to join. I will be dedicating my Fridays and parts of my Saturdays to work on Act 2. I did come up with 3 sets of rules that I'm gonna use as guidelines for my writing challenge. The first rule is that my writing is allowed to be bad. Then the second rule is that there will be no editing while I'm writing. And the third rule is gonna be to write a minimum of 300 words. Now I know my energy levels. Over the years, I've sort of understood that on Fridays, I'm usually very depleted. So I didn't want to set a goal that will overwhelm me. Just throwing it out there, I was also toying with the idea to potentially host occasional writing streams, live stream. Let me know if you guys are interested. Let's go, writing session. I'm about to work now on my prologue page. I'm pretty sure you remember this one from the previous video, but today we'll finish it. I have my soup. Cheers. And I think I will wrap up the video here. And with that said, please let me know down in the comments how you are progressing, where you stand with your projects. And if you're going to join me in the 100-day challenge, also let me know down in the comments. And I hope to see you in the next one. Ciao!